Music theory for producers. Syncopation, the secret to catchy beats. Do you ever feel like your beats or songs are missing that special sauce that get people nodding their heads or on the dance floor? The secret could be in how you use syncopation. Whether you're making house music, hip hop, or even a funky pop track, understanding syncopation can completely transform your grooves and therefore your music. What are the benefits? Stand out from the crowd. Most producers stick to simple, straight rhythms, but syncopation can add that pro level complexity and excitement to your tracks, setting you apart from the competition. It adds groove and movement. Syncopation is the magic behind those grooves that make people feel the music, really feel the music. It'll help you keep your tracks fresh. Ever feel like your rhythms are too predictable? Syncopation keeps things dynamic and interesting, making your music sound alive and engaging. In this video, I'm breaking down what syncopation really is, showing you examples from hit tracks and giving you simple tips to use in your beat making process starting today. Even if you've never heard of syncopation, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spice up your rhythms like a pro. Before we get started, I want to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Alicia Ma from The Insightful Singer, where we explore music making in its entirety. And this is part of my Chats with AI series. So, the mission of this series is that I'll chat with AI technology, especially ChatGPT, ask meaningful questions that can help us progress as music makers, gather beneficial answers, fill in any gaps with my own musical knowledge that I've gathered from over 20 years in music, or consult other sources where needed, and share my findings with you. So, without any further ado, let's dive in. What is syncopation? Syncopation is a musical technique that involves placing emphasis on beats or parts of beats that are normally unaccented or weaker. It creates a sense of rhythmic surprise and can make music feel more dynamic and interesting. Key characteristics of syncopation: 1. Unexpected accents. 2. Offbeat rhythms. 3. Diverse rhythmic patterns. 1. Unexpected accents. In a typical 4/4 time signature, the strong beats are usually on the first and third beats, the downbeats. Syncopation shifts the emphasis to the second and fourth beats, the upbeats, or even to offbeat subdivisions. Before we go any further, I want to introduce you to subdivision of beats if you're new to music theory. Quarter notes, usually each note gets one count. So it would sound something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But quarter notes can be divided into 2, 3, 4, and many other parts. So to give you an example, I've provided some here. If we take a quarter note and divide it into two equal parts, they are then called eighth notes, and it's counted as follows: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you take a quarter note and divide it into three equal parts, they then become eighth note triplets, and it's counted as 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and. If you take a quarter note and divide it into four equal parts, they become 16th notes, and it is counted as 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So this is just fundamental information which will help you understand some of the concepts in upcoming slides. So let's get back into it. Now here's an example of unexpected accents. Instead of playing a straight rhythm that emphasizes the beats 1, 2, 3, 4, a syncopated rhythm might emphasize the and between the beats as follows: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2. Offbeat rhythms. Syncopation often involves playing notes slightly before or after the beat, creating a swing feel. This can lead to a more relaxed or groovy sound. Playing before the beat. If a note is played just before the beat, it creates a sense of urgency or anticipation that propels the music forward. This technique is often used in funk, jazz, and dance music to give the rhythm a driving, energetic feel. Here's an example. In a 4/4 time signature, where the beats are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of hitting a note directly on beat 3, the note is played slightly ahead of it. 1, 2, hit just before 3, 3, 4. So here's an auditory example. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How does it feel? Playing just before the beat creates momentum. By playing just before the beat, it feels like the rhythm is pushing forward, adding excitement and drive. Playing just before the beat adds groove. The slight anticipation created from playing just before the beat creates a tugging effect, which can make the music more compelling and danceable. Famous example: James Brown funk classic Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. In the track, the horn section frequently hits notes slightly before the downbeat, creating an energetic push that adds to the signature funk groove. Similarly, the guitar's chunky rhythm and syncopated hits often anticipate the beat, driving the song forward and making it irresistibly danceable. House and EDM drops. In many dance tracks, a bass note or kick drum might hit just before the drop, heightening anticipation and energy before the beat fully lands. Playing just before the beat adds rhythmic complexity and makes the listener feel like the music is full of life and motion. It's also an effective way to create tension that resolves as the beat catches up. This technique keeps the listener engaged and adds depth to the groove. Playing after the beat. When a note is played just after the beat, it creates a feeling of lagging or dragging behind the rhythm, adding tension and a laid back groove to the music. This effect is often used in genres like funk, R&B, and hip hop to create a pocket feel. Here's an example. In a 4/4 time signature, where the beats are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of hitting a note directly on beat 2, the note is slightly delayed, landing just after the second beat on the and. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. But in this example, with the parentheses, the 2 beat is silent. So it would sound something like this: 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. How it feels. This delay creates a sense of anticipation because the listener expects the note to fall on the beat. But when it lands just after, it feels loose and groovy. It's like a drummer intentionally hitting the snare slightly late, which can make a groove feel more human and soulful. Famous example. In D'Angelo's Untitled, How Does It Feel? The drums and bass frequently use notes that come slightly after the beat, creating a laid back, soulful groove that's rich with emotion. This technique adds rhythmic variety and contributes to making music sound alive and full of character as opposed to being overly rigid or robotic. 3. Diverse rhythmic patterns. Syncopation can be created by varying note lengths and rest, which disrupts the expected pattern. Short notes followed by long notes or combinations of rest and sounds can contribute to the syncopated rhythms. Quick pause. Are you finding this content helpful? If so, take a few seconds to like and subscribe for more content like this and to be notified when new videos are posted. So if you've done so, let's continue on. More examples in music. Jazz and funk. Syncopation is a hallmark of these genres, creating a lively, danceable groove. For instance, in jazz, a drummer might play a hi-hat on the offbeats while the bass plays a syncopated line that accents the weaker beats. Pop and rock. Many pop songs incorporate syncopation to make choruses more catchy and dynamic. For example, the syncopated clapping or percussion in songs encourages movement and engagement. Why use syncopation? 1. Create interest. 2. Enhance emotion. 3. Encourage movement. 1. Create interest. Syncopation adds complexity and variety to rhythms, making music feel less predictable and more engaging. 2. Enhance emotion. The tension created by syncopation can evoke different feelings, enhancing the emotional impact of the music. 3. Encourage movement. In dance music, syncopation can motivate listeners to move by creating compelling grooves. That rhymes. Move by creating compelling grooves. Now that we've discussed syncopation, here are some actionable tips for using syncopation in your music. Tip number 1. Shift notes off the beat. Here's an action. Take a drum, bass, or melody note and move it slightly before or after a strong beat. An example. If your snare hits on beat 2, try placing it just after beat 2 on the and or the e or the Results. This creates tension and groove, making your beat feel more dynamic. Tip number 2. Emphasize the offbeats. Action. Use hi-hats, claps, or percussive sounds on the and counts between the beats instead of on the main beats. Example. In a 4/4 time signature, with the standard kick on 1, snare on 2, try making it syncopated by adding a clap on the and between the 1 and 2. This adds bounce and energy common in genres like house and funk. Tip number 3. Play with silence. Action. Leave a beat empty where listeners expect a sound, then follow it up with an unexpected hit. Example. Imagine a standard 4/4 beat with kicks on beats 1 and 3 and snares on 2 and 4. To play with silence, remove the kick from beat 3 and instead place it just after it on the and. Results. The absence of sound makes the next note pop, creating surprise and interest. Tip number 4. Layer syncopated percussion. Action. Add a percussion loop that has syncopated rhythms, like a conga or shaker. Example, let it interact with your main beat for added complexity. As a result, layering syncopated elements keeps the groove engaging without changing your core beat. Tip number 5. Use syncopation in bass lines. Action. Instead of hitting the bass note on the downbeat, start on the and or use varied rhythmic patterns to create movement. Example, regular setup. Kick and bass both hit on beat 1. Syncopated version. Bass hits on and after beat 1. Results. A syncopated bass line adds drive and groove, making your beats more compelling. Tip number 6. Break the pattern. Action. If your beat loops every 4 bars, try adding a syncopated feel in the 4th bar. Example, a quick snare roll or hi-hat pattern leading into the next section could work. As a result, breaking repetition keeps the listener hooked and makes transitions more exciting. Tip number 7. Use MIDI groove quantize. Action. Many DAWs have groove quantize presets. Try one of them. Example. Apply a groove template to your drums or bass to introduce natural syncopation without overthinking it. Result. It's a fast way to create professional sounding rhythms with a human feel. Tip number 8. Borrow from reference tracks. Action. Listen to songs with great syncopation like James Brown, Dat Punk, and others. Try mimicking their rhythms in your own style. Results. Learning from the pros give you practical ideas to experiment with in your own productions. Don't be afraid to experiment. Syncopation is all about adding character and excitement to your music. Even small changes to your rhythm can have a huge impact. Start simple and let your creativity take the lead. In summary, syncopation is a powerful rhythmic tool that can add depth and excitement to your music, making it a popular technique across various genres. And now you also have some techniques to try out in your own music. So thank you for watching. For more content like this, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, if you're looking to grow as a music creator, let me know what you're struggling with or would like to improve on so I can upload content to assist you. Also, if you have anything to add about this topic, kindly leave it in the comments as well. So until next time, I'm wishing you all the best and bye for now.